Everything in Sahaja is very scientific, is all pre-planned, I think, and is all significant. For example, today is Wednesday, and we have never had any puja on a Wednesday because I was born on Wednesday. So I was thinking if the puja starts before 12 o'clock, we'll be able to manage it because I was born at 12. So every child has to sleep after 12 o'clock. So I had to sleep. So it's so significant, you see. It's the first time we are having a puja on Wednesday. Normally I don't even travel on Wednesdays. So you can imagine that it's such a breakthrough, and I'm very happy that you all are ready for a puja and that we could break this rule also after such a long time. Because it was impossible for me to keep awake after 12. So I was trying. And I knew that you all also feeling very sleepy. So it's so mutual and it's so simple. All right. So today we have gathered really remarkably in the really center of the Nabhi of the universe. And I don't know how far I can go with the description of this great country, which we call as Greece. Also, in the Puranas is described as Manipure Dvipe. The Manipur is the Nabhi Chakra, Manipur. And a Dvip means the island. Island of the Manipura stays the Athena. And there is a temple of Athena, all being described about her temple, about her jewelry, dress, and everything. So it's already in the Puranas described, this Athena. As I've told you before, Athena means the primordial mother. So now, one may say that why the primordial mother Adishakti should be on the Nabhi chakra of the universe. One may ask a question like that why she's placed on the Nabhi chakra. Because in the, I don't know in English, before the creation was created in the material form, where it was planned, then there was something of the, what we call is the Vishnu Loka. Is the Loka or the area where Vishnu ruled. And in that Vishnu Loka, it was decided that Adishakti should first come in the form as a cow, and then she should descend in the area called as Gokul, which is Vishuddhi Chakra, first, and create vibrations there. Now in the material form, the Gokul was where Sri Krishna lived in his childhood. So in the material form, Athena itself lived in the material form. I'm not saying in the formation before. In this area to create the vibrations. So it is not only she was a goddess, but she lived in this area to create the vibrations for the Nabhi, to create the universal compassion and love and all her qualities. Now, as you know, every aspect of the goddess has different qualities. And as you can see that Mahakali has the aspect of comforting and Mahasaraswati is counseling. And the Mahalakshmi has got for the redemption, for the awakening. But the Adishakti's work is to unite everything, to integrate everything. And to integrate all those qualities, the Adishakti herself was in material form, came on this earth, in this part. And that's why they knew about Athena. But as it is, I don't know what are the stories they have. They must have some mythological stories about Athena, that she lived like this or whatever it was. And this is where she created the Devaloka. Devaloka is the area where Devas were created. Like she created Indra. You have heard the name of Indra. Then Varuna. All these Devalokas she created in this area, not in India. Devaloka was created on this side. And Ganas and all these people were created on the side of Nepal and all those places, on the left-hand side. Now, unfortunately, after Socrates, who came here in such a condition when people were really absolutely ignorant, in the complete darkness of ignorance, they could not understand him. They could not understand Socrates at all. And so, like any other primordial master was treated by the people who were surrounding him, he was also very much ill-treated and nobody listened to him. But of course, as you know, he was primordial master and his wisdom is well known. And he created out of him disciples, but none of them could go anywhere near his wisdom. And they started their own theories, own styles. And that's how we find the accent from the philosophy that was Socrates' aim, gradually came into political and then into economic side. So the attention was moved from philosophy to economics today, not towards the philosophy which was established by Socrates. We can say Socrates was the one primordial master after Abraham and Moses, who really made it very clear-cut understanding about spirituality. Of course, Moses and Muhammad, Abraham had different problems. Like Abraham had problems of talking to people who were really very, very ignorant. And Moses had problem with people who were very indulgent people. So he had to pass laws of Shariat. Moses passed the law of Shariat. And if you read Bible I think in the first verse only, it is written about Shariat. In the Irmaya, third book of Bible, that Moses had to pass these laws, different laws, to make people follow religion precisely. So he did not argue. He did not say why you should do it. Didn't give it. You do it like that. Because he thought these people are so ignorant that you cannot leave it to their freedom. That you understand this, or that you see the point. He could not do that way. So he just said, all right, these are the laws, these are the things, and you have to follow. If you don't follow, then you will be killed, your hands will be cut, this will happen, that will. Because the people were of that time. Now then you see how gradually at the time of Socrates, people had evolved. They were much better people. So he could talk to them about something of wisdom, of honesty, of righteousness, of peace, of so many things he talked. And he could talk because people were worthy of that. Otherwise, he could have said, all right, you do this, you do that, you do that. But see the difference also in the circumstances, how what has happened. In the first circumstances, when Abraham had problems, then the people were absolutely good for nothing. Absolutely good for nothing. So he didn't know what to do with them. So only you can see in the time of Abraham that his own lifestyle, that was just the system where the family was building up and the relationships were building up, and he tried to work it on that level. Then at the time of Moses, people evolved much more. They evolved, but still very ignorant. So they evolved to this point that he did not have to talk the things that Abraham talked. So he talked to them about getting out of Egypt, taking their freedom, getting out from there, and going to a place of more tranquility. But when they did that, he found these people on the way. When he went to get the 10 Commandments, when he came back, what he finds, are you sure this is what you... Must be somewhere. It's all right, it's upside down. I think people have issued this. So the people who were at the time of Moses, when he had gone to get the 10 Commandments, started indulging into very, very immoral character, extremely immoral character. They were very immoral and were doing such horrible things that nobody can believe that anybody who tried to escape from the Egyptians were worse than the Egyptians themselves. So he gave this Shariat to them to change. Now then came the time when people were, despite all that, people were not so good, we can say, at the time of Christ. But they were not so immoral. They also could not understand Christ. So you see, despite all the human evolution, the human awareness evolving, the understanding about spirituality was very poor. And you could not talk to them. Now you can also see the circumstances of things. When the circumstances are such, like at the time of, say, Moses, that people are extremely immoral, they are doing all kinds of bad things, they are not bothered about their own destruction. The incarnations had to move absolutely to the right, because they were so left-sided. So the incarnations had to move absolutely to the right and say that if you do like this, this we'll have to do, the violence part. So they took to violence. So the circumstances made the reactions of the people. Also the awareness of human beings. So many things worked it out. Say, for example, when Athena came on this earth, her job was to create an integrated force which will have the whole Chaitanya spread like an integrated force. So that when it will be all disintegrated later on, it can integrate. So the Greeks have a job, special job, is to integrate. You have to integrate people which are left-sided and right-sided. And that's what I asked him, what happened to Hitler. So they said that when they saw Hitler, though Hitler respected them, they resisted Hitler. You can see the significance. How he respected the Greeks. And despite that, they resisted him because they were given this special capacity. Same thing with Greeks, they went to, except Alexander only the one, who tried to invade India. And because of a Greek nature, he receded back. You see, it's a Greek nature that they can go so far and then not. Because they have an integrating force. The same thing as I was asking him about what happened with the Turks. They had gone into Turkey, but they receded back. So this power of receding back and is the integrating power. By you integrate within yourself both the qualities of the left and right, and you balance it, and you see, no, that's all right. If you have to be in the center, we should go up to a point and come back. And this is a very basic quality of Greeks in every respect. If you take their shipping, they're very aggressive in shipping to begin with. Extremely aggressive people, and Greek ships were known for not maintaining at all. They were not very law-abiding. So they were never used to maintain their ships, you see. And always under trouble, the Greeks. That in the shipping they were known to be, the Greeks are ships which are all falling off, you see, and rattling. So perhaps they were aware that now the shipping is going to go down. So no use maintaining these ships, you see. Then when the shipping went down, you see, this is on an economic level, I'm saying, how they worked it out. They sunk their ships and got the money out of insurance. That is a typical Greek style of behavior. Is that they know already, it's a kind of a wisdom. They know that how far to go. Like we can see now, Onassis also married this mad woman, Kennedy's wife, because he must have realized that Kennedy never gave her any security, so he married her. All right. He married her up to a point. But most of his property went to his daughter, not to Mrs. Kennedy. This balance and this wisdom is a special Greek style of life. That's why you might say that they are not overdeveloped like Americans are. But now Americans are realized that they are idiots. But Greeks can never become idiots, whatever you may try. They are very sharp and very intelligent, but they know how far to go with everything. What is the reason for this? The Athena. So Athena is the one Adi Shakti, and she created Ganesha here. And the balance of the universe or all the dharmas is in the Nabhi Chakra. And so the people over here are very balanced. You can find them very in their language, in their styles, very deep. One may say because they are traditional people, they have long traditions. But Egypt had also long tradition. Of course, Egyptians are, in a way, wiser than all other Islamic countries. But not like Greeks. Not like Greeks. We have Chinese also who are very wise. And they are known to be people of deep understanding. But they are not like Indians. So what is lacking in all these people is the depth of awareness. Because though in China also Mother of Mercy came and she really bestowed blessings upon them, and China rose also afterwards into her own glory and became quite a good industrial, developed country, we can say, very powerful. But still, that kind of regimentation could not be borne, because after all, Mother Mercy was there. Do you know, you have one Mother Mercy to give, you given me, one, Kuan Yin, same thing, Kuan Yin, and she's the same thing called as Mother of Mercy. And the second one was given by Gregor recently. And you see what's happening in China now. So the effects of these deities which existed in different countries at different times are felt only in Kali Yuga in the best way. Now you may say that why should Mother come last to Greece? Because now Athena is in the Sahasrara. So you have to go not in the Nabi. So I had to bring Sahasrara here, isn't it? Sahasrara is the last chakra one has to achieve. So I thought that let Greeks grow up to the Sahasrara point. So we have to establish Sahasrara in this. And thus it's a very powerful work we have to do in Greece. Because actually at the time when Athena came here, it was not Sahasrara, it was Nabhi. Because she was actually on the Himalayas, came from the Himalayas. So now to bring Himalaya here, or to bring that purity in Greece, is a tremendous task. And we have very few Sahajogis. But you see the reaction of the gentleman who came, and we have formidable job because of these orthodox, most unorthodox. They have no orthodoxy about anything. So we have a problem, big problem, how we'll establish here. The Devaloka was formed here, and Devas were here, they rule here, no doubt. But in the human awareness, they were brought down to the human level. Like Zeus was Parshurama, the one who was an incarnation to announce the advent of Sri Rama. And he came before Sri Ram, died also very much before Sri Ram. But they painted Zeus as a man who was a womanizer. So all gods were brought to the level of human beings, restored with all the weaknesses, see? Actually decorated with all the weaknesses, like that. And that is responsible for the downfall, because this part of the country is on the pattern of Devaloka. Reflection of that. But this Devalok is now, we see, has become just the opposite. Because deities have been brought down to such a low level, to such degrading level. Even the mythology also in India talks about them like this. Not to such an extent. Like Zeus they don't talk, but about Indra they talk. And like Indra's description comes like this, that the king Hiranyakashipu's wife was living, his wife, Hiranyakashipu's wife, was a saintly lady, and Hiranyakashipu was ruling in the area of, you can say, Kandahar and Afghanistan and all these places. And from here, Indra went down and took away the wife. I mean, they incarnated, the gods incarnated here. And Indra went down, took away the wife of Hiranyakashipu with him to save her. And he went down and stayed in an ashram in Maharashtra, where there's a river flowing with my name, Neera. So now see how the combinations are. The Shandilya Muni, who was the guru of my family, that's why my Gotra is Shandilya. It was in his ashram he stayed. So the Muni Shandilya told that, see, this lady is a very pure lady, don't disturb her, and out of her will come a very great saint who will, by his own devotion, make the incarnation of Narasimha. You see the god Vishnu, which comes as the half god. And he will kill this Asura. Now part of the Egypt was also ruled by the Hiranyakashipu. Part of the Egypt. See how significant everything is. So this Narasimha came, when you know about Prahlada's story. Alright. So this little boy played there around and he made some things, and there's a temple very near. You have seen Narasimha's temple? Narasimha, yes. And that you have seen the statue made out of sand. Yes. That was made by Prahlad. And he came into the dreams of someone and said that in your temple, you please put the statue I have made. And they went round the Neera river and found it and put it there. So see the relationship, how it is. Now this Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narasimha. Narasimha, as you know, is the incarnation of Sri Vishnu. Because he had, this Hiranyakashipu had a blessing of Brahmadeva that not any animal can kill him. Not any human being can kill him. Not on the land or in the sky. And not with any weapon. All so many blessings he had taken. He had closed all the lines, see, so that nobody should kill him. But actually, he did not know there are ways and methods. So Sri Vishnu took the form of Narasimha. Is that he became the Simha, means the lion, and the lower portion of a man. And it so happened that Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlada, "Where is your God?" He said, "This is everywhere." So he said, "All right, is he in this pillar?" He said, "Yes, he is in this pillar also." So he hit the pillar. See, the pillar must have been the same style as you make Greek style, pillar of stone. So he knew that in the pillar, how can anybody be? It's a stone. He hit it, but the pillar broke, out of which came out Narasimha with long hands and claws. And he took that Hiranyakashipu and put him on his lap, because neither on the sky nor in the ground. And with his claws, because they were not weapons, he opened his stomach and killed him. So because he was also ruling in Egypt, the people of Egypt made they were Assyrians. Assyrians are Asuras. They were the ones who were Asuras. That's why they are called Assyrians. So they made the statue of their god Sphinx the other way round than Narasimha. So the upper part of the Sphinx is that of man, and the lower part of that statue is that of lion. This is very ancient story I am telling you. So how the Greeks went to India long time back, because all these devas were Greeks. And these devas were like Indra, what he did, and Varuna and all these things. But I think because the whole idea got perverted, whole thing, they could not see the proper image of their faces in their meditation, because they perverted them, so they could not see. And they saw perverted faces, they saw them nude and that kind of thing, which was all their own imagination working, because they were indulging into all kinds of immoral things. So they made it absolutely what you call a very immoral type of relationships and things among them. So that was their own ideas, and they put it. But also as a result of that, they could never see the body or the faces of these devatas properly. So they made them more like, quite ugly looking faces they made. Like I saw Poseidon they have made here, which they gave it to my husband also. It's not at all like Varuna, I can tell you. So, and absolutely nude, it's so embarrassing. They gave it to my husband and he didn't know where to look, and I just started laughing because he's a very shy man, my husband. And he had to put it in his office, hidden somewhere, and it looks very funny. And he was saying, why not we use a kind of a covering with some silver. I said, it's an antique they have reproduced. You can't do it to an antique. He said, all right, where should I put it? I said, put it in some corner. So with such expense they gave it. But my husband was quite upset about it, you see. Every time he sees this gentleman, he says, this gentleman is no good. All right. So then this part of the history is there. On that history stands the modern Greek. So if you see from Socrates to Christ, people had evolved, we think, but they also crucified Christ. So what was their evolution? Though if you see what Christ preached and what Christ preached and Socrates preached, There is much difference. Because Socrates talked in parables, not openly. While Socrates talked in a very open way, in an open discussion, in an open understanding, that shows only that the people could understand what he was saying. But still, he was also killed. Socrates also was given poison, and he was also killed. So that shows that at that time also the people in charge or at the helm of affairs didn't know what was reality. So now from Christ to Socrates and from Socrates to me, we can say this way, that we are talking about him. Though Socrates came in the year, how much BC he was?
About 500 years before
Christ. 500 before Christ. So might be that Christ must have felt that Socrates, he talked so openly, so nicely to people, as because he was primordial master. He realized it. So he talked in parables. He thought that no use talking straight like Socrates, because see, they are very straightforward people. The primordial masters have to be very, they are by nature extremely straightforward. Even today's those who were real gurus, they would not accept any person. They would throw away. They would beat people. Even musicians in India, those who are great masters, they would beat their disciples if they played something wrong, like very harsh people. So it was all right for Socrates also to tell things very plain and simple and all that, but still he was killed. And then Christ, who was 500 years later, came. See, he saw the point that no use talking, because he came at Agya, talking in that way. If you tell somebody, don't do like this, even reason it out like Socrates did, he is the master of logic, you can call him. The whole logic system comes from him. He's a master of logic. But despite that, it did not appeal to the logic of the people who were at the helm of affairs. So they have no logic in their heads. You see, they are just rationalists. Rationality is blindness, but there's no logic. So because there is no logic, they killed him. And Christ understood that there is no logic with these people, so better talk to them in parables. So he talked to them in parables. But still they killed him. Helm, the authorities, they couldn't bear. They thought he's becoming very powerful, or whatever it was. The Jews themselves were very funny, and they did it. So in Sahaj Yoga, what I decided that at least I should give realization to people first. And then I can talk to them whatever I like. Now I'm talking to you everything and you are understanding it because you are realized souls. But I cannot talk this to an ordinary person. So we have two types of people, one who are Sahajogis and one who are not. Of course there are some Sahajogis who are not very worthy of this, I agree. And they may just go back or something. But you can become worthy of understanding all this knowledge because your Kundalini can make you so capable and your Sahasrara are so good that you can absorb what I am saying and can logically see what I am saying is true. And you can also verify it, whether it is true or not. So this stage of yours, I think, is the highest stage of awareness, where collectively you are understanding me. The situation is not so bad as that was even at the time of Christ. Before that, of Socrates' time, I think he was the only wise man going around. There was nobody else seems to be have any wisdom. Even his disciples, you see, like Plato, he went off his head. Then Aristotle went off his head. Both of them really were tried to have their own arbitrary additions, which were all absolutely. But Socrates talked absolutely about gods and everything, and talked so openly. Then, in the same way, we can say the primordial master state is that we have Muhammad. He was also killed. He was also killed because he told the truth. Then came Nanaka. He was not killed, but nobody bothered about him. And the people who really follow him are just in the opposite direction. Supposing he was saying, come this way, so they are going in that way. You find even same thing with Christ. If Christ said, come this way, the Christians are going that way. Every religion is just the same. Same with Krishna's Gita. Those who preach Gita are just, if Krishna is standing here and saying, come this way, Gita is saying, they are preaching Gita, going down, taking people downward. So it is common with all religions that they have always used the name of prophets and of all the incarnations just to make money and to take everybody to hell. Straightforward march to hell. See, so now those who are alert about it and those who have seen it, that this is all nonsense, are in Sahaja. And Sahajogis can't do that because they have come quite a long way now on this side. So they are going to pull out many others to that side instead of going themselves down. So this is the situation today. And that's why I say Greece is a very wonderful area where we can work it out. If Athena could be awakened here, this place could be of very great help to us. Now there are very balanced Greek people. They have great sense of art because of right side Swadhisthana. Also, they have lots of qualities of understanding the worthlessness of too much indulgences and all that. It is so. But the immorality grew now because they started copying Westerners. Otherwise, the women here were very moral women. This is only in these 20 years this change has come. Before that, the women were very moral, very good women lived here. And some of them are now in India, as I told you. They came with Alexander. And they were very good husbands and wives and very good families. This is only, I don't know why, about 20 years or 25 years at the most you can say. The Kali Yuga is showing its effects here also. But it's a very solid country. And still they respect a woman who has character. Respect her. They may use a woman who has no character, but they respect the woman who has character. And also respect the mother. So there are lots of qualities in this country which are still existing, in some places lingering, and some places effective. So the job of Sahajogis is to somehow or other evoke that integrating force in them of the Athena, and I'm sure we can purify this country. May God bless you.